And now to a player back for an 8th tilt at the title after an excellent win over Matthew Stevens at the qualifiers. He made the quarters 2 years ago and will relish this opportunity. 6 times a ranking event finalist and one of the most entertaining players we've ever seen. Here comes the jackpot, Jack Lisowski. And finally, to a player arguably getting back towards his best. 2 major finals this season. He is back in the world's top 10. Twice a semi-finalist here, runner-up in 16, and a sporting icon back home in China. Enter the dragon, Junhui.
Of course, you can watch Karen Wilson and Dominic Dale starting out live on Discovery+. So we've got 2 first-round matches beginning here this morning. Packed Crucible, as you'd expect, and this one could be an absolute cracker. I don't think anyone really wanted to draw Jack Lisowski. But equally, Ding obviously poses a massive test for him.
Ding Junhui to break.
So on this St George's Day, can England's Jack Lisowski slay the dragon that is Ding Junhui? Lisowski played very well in qualifying, of course, number 17 in the world, so he just missed out on a seeding by 1 place. He made 6 centuries across 2 matches and beat Matthew Stevens pretty comfortably in the second of them. And Ding, of course, up to number 7 in the world. He has, in the past, of course, had to qualify, got to the final in 2016. I think this is going to be a very entertaining contest. And there's just that mood in the air, Neal, isn't at the moment? A lot of seeds have been knocked out already, 5 have gone, and, you know, there might be some more upsets.
Oh, absolutely. Good morning to everyone watching the first 9 frames of this match with us. Yeah, I mean, this would not be a big shock, really. I mean, as, like you point out, you know, Ding had been qualifying a couple of times. It's a nice little fluke to tee him off. And Jack, of course, comes in as the highest of the qualifiers, and he was 17. He only just missed out on being here as of right, so it's a belter of a game.
Ding Junhui 1.
3 meetings between them, all 3 won by Ding, but they haven't played for 5 years. One was at the Masters in 2019. I think Lisowski, he's had a difficult season and he seemed to sort of switch off a little bit at one point, but I know he's been practicing hard. He's been practicing with Judd Trump ahead of the qualifiers. And Judd was very impressed with how he was playing as he hits the pink there.
And a miss.
And that won't be going back, I wouldn't think.
I think if you're a complete neutral, you might find this a difficult match to sort of favour anybody in, because Jack Lisowski is a very popular player. People want to see him win, but a lot of people want to see Ding Junhui be world champion at some point. So they're a little bit torn today in a match of this kind.
Six.
Playing the much more difficult bit of the 2. Just to gain position and free the black, which is what Ding Junhui's all about. You know, he is a very meticulous break builder. That's always been his number 1 asset. He can obviously do other things. You don't think of his safety or his long game. Of course, he can play them both, but his
14.
method of scoring is his own, really.
15.
He has struggled here in recent times. He's actually lost in the first round for the last 3 years, so he's not won a match here since 2020. That was the lockdown World Championship without an audience. So he's not actually won a match in front of an audience since 2019. So, OK, all big names, Bingham, Wilson, Hossain Vafai, but he wants to stop that run for sure. As he plays an aggressive shot into the reds there. I think this will be a very open game.
Good shot. He hasn't got any applause for it, but as you say, he's
22.
wholeheartedly into the bunch there. And as you can see, he's on a red, which he seems to be able to cue reasonably nicely. If it was straighter, it's a simple shot to play on the black, but there appears to be an angle. So how will he execute the shot?
23.
Nicely done. Just avoiding the push and avoiding hitting the black. It's a very encouraging start. Yes, he got a fluke and rolled up behind the yellow, so Jack has not done much wrong. Did hit the pink, but now Ding has got this chance. I said it the other day, but that's true. Yes, best of 19 is a longish match, but you know that 3-session matches are around the corner in the second round. So on that basis, it feels like a bit of a sprint.
31.
If you go 2 or 3 frames behind, your back's to the wall already.
Of course, he was recently runner-up at the World Open. And was runner-up as well this season at the UK Championship. I mean, if this tournament ever went to York, he'd be almost favourite, I think. It's just a bit awkward in terms of queuing.
Yeah, I mean, the UK Championship, which he's won 3 times, has been what's kept him afloat in the rankings the last 2 seasons. He's been runner-up both in 2022 and most recently 2023 version.
39.
Well, Jack Lisowski playing out of that snooker just caught the pink, left a red to middle, and he's seen Ding up close as one of the great break builders. He would expect this frame to be over.
He looks quite sharp, doesn't he? And he has been playing
44.
mostly pretty well. Obviously, everyone has their bad days, but there was a spell where Ding seemed to be so inconsistent, he would barely ever look even motivated, but he seems to have got that all back now. But this is a tough match for him.
Thank you. 45.
Playing Jack Lisowski. I say for many people, this was the pick of the round. I don't think we're going to be disappointed today with this. As usual, getting on every colour at the perfect angle, and now absolutely right behind the red. He's already found his touch.
52. $53.
This was a shot I mentioned, which caught the pink, but it was more the fact he left the red on that was the problem. Ding needs another red here to very swiftly account for the opening frame.
There's an example of Ding Junhui's
60.
cue ball control into the pink gently, knowing that brings about a choice of a couple of reds.
$61.
So already there's too many in it. We haven't been playing all that long. Jack, as we've just seen, couldn't get out of the snooker. You give him a pass on that one. It was not an easy shot straight away to be playing. Frame over.
$68. $69.
Well, yeah, we've barely seen Jack yet. I'm sure we will do, but what he's seeing is someone who's hit the ground running here. 14 centuries so far at the Crucible this year in the first 3 days. Saw Mark Williams yesterday. He started with a 1-4-2 against Junhui.
74.
He looked as if he was looking down the line of the
81.
cue to see if it was straight. I'd like to think it is, the way he's playing. Yeah, he does look
82.
really good, actually, in this break. I mean, I know he's a terrific player. That goes without saying, but there's a bit of authority about the way he's striking the ball in this break. It's nice to see if you're a fan, and he's got many all around the world.
Yeah, the other thing, of course, is all snooker tables play differently, and this is his first
87.
frame playing on this one. He's got to grips with it immediately, how it's playing.
$94.
Well, Ding's obviously a morning person, judging by this break. Superb stuff. This really is a perfect way to start a match. So this blue for a 74th Crucible century for Ding in his 18 appearances here. Wonderful. Off and running then, well and truly on day 4 here at the Crucible.
100.
I have to say, this is as good a century as I've seen all the way through. I know you say we've had, I think it was 14, you said, in the 3 days leading up to this, but this break has been so neat and compact, and he never has, at any point, has looked like getting out of position, never mind missing a pot. Very encouraging.
109. $114. $120.
Well, the most delightful break this, you'll see. I mean, centuries are centuries, but this has been fabulous.
What a start from Ding Junhui, 127 in frame 1. That is how you start a match. Wonderful. So we're underway on day 4 of the Kazoo World Snooker Championship, and Ding Junhui has made 127 in frame 1 against Jack Lisowski. As we wait for frame 2, they play 9 frames here in this session, and then a possible 10 in the morning.
The second frame. Jack Lisowski to break.
So Lisowski didn't get much of a look in frame 1. I'm sure his chance will come, but he's already seen what he's up against. We saw Lisowski 2 years ago, of course, get to the quarterfinals, beat Neal Robertson in a match where Robertson made a maximum and then lost in a decider to John Higgins. So he was so close to the one table. Last year he lost second round to Anthony McGill, but of course comes in this year as a qualifier.
Very difficult cueing there. Had a lot of time to sit out and watch that beautiful century. Jack Lisowski, of course, he knows he's not always going to be like this. It happens that his opponent started really well. But, of course, Neal Robertson was the one they were all speaking about as a qualifier, and no one wanted to play, because when he went out, I guess Jack was the next one nobody particularly wanted. Well, it's not good to miss that, really. He was forced into it, and he was trying to run it round off a couple of cushions for the black, but none of it worked. Pod or position. He may have looked a simple shot. It wasn't quite that, but I thought he would get it. Well, the worry here is that he's going to go and do the same again. He's just curious to know where the blue will go, because it looks like the yellow is on the blue spot. So up on the brown, by the looks of things, unless the pink, actually the pink might be free. It's a pink spot, I think it is. And that's where it'll go, which is not any good to ding.
Yes, I can to get that in there.
Yeah, so it's a little bit unfortunate. He probably could have done with
6
being on the yellow there, if he could have, and potted the yellow and just get it away from the blue spot. Then the next time he potted the blue, it would stay on its own spot. A very good shot. And he held. He'd like to have gone maybe a bull's width further, because the red he wants to be on, really, quite importantly, would be the red right next to the black. And that would free the black. And that's how he break builds. All the leading players, they'll recognise a ball they have to eliminate or move. But as you can see, the angle is a bit straight.
Nine.
Ooh, what a big fluke.
I'll tell you what else it was, Dave. It was a real jab. That cue, it did not... It was the one thing that Ding has an issue with, and it's been spoken about enough. Not with luck, because he's got that on his side, but just this, when he has to hit the ball with more pace, he put in a big, quick shot there. Didn't really pause anywhere. But the fluke going in. And look at this for a shot. Look at that for a shot. This fantastic shot.
14.
Jack won't like it because of the fluke. But this was, as I said earlier, the ready was just trying to land behind.
Well, it was on this day 41 years ago where Cliff Thorburn fluked a red and went on to make the first maximum in the World Championship. So they can be significant. It's up to the player if they get the luck, of course, to make it so. It feels like we've barely seen Jack Lisowski yet in this match.
Yeah, of course, don't forget he did get the fluke in the first frame, and that's why he rolled behind the yellow. So he had two, which have both been significant, and we haven't played more than a frame in a bit yet.
23.
Now, I think that bounced out. I'm sure that one bounced out.
Junhui, 23.
And we'll need to see that again. Goodness, that should not fall out. That came out from the back of the pocket for no reason. So Jack's had a bit of luck there. Also, Ding unlucky for once. I've not seen that very often. Must have left the bed of the table or something. It's something that's not supposed to happen, basically. Occasionally out the middle pocket it would bounce out. What's this? Yeah, look at it. It's sort of going through the air. It bounced. Everything left the bed of the table there. So I don't quite know why that happened. But Jack has got to take advantage when he gets a break like he did.
Yeah, I mean, that was a chance, and it came to almost nothing. Misses the green.
One.
I think when you play Lisowski, you kind of know what sort of game it's going to be. It's going to be open. I mean, he is a dangerous draw, but there's arguably more dangerous players who've been further in this tournament, who've been in the one table, who've qualified. Won last night, didn't he? Stuart Bingham, former champion. We know that he can win the tournament.
3.
But Ding, in these very early stages, knows he's on top, so a chance here to press on.
4. Eleven. Twelve.
It's another match that started very openly with barely a safety shot played. This was a nice little nudge. And yeah, she pushed a red on now. She may take later. See, there's a beautiful shot from Ding Junhui. Didn't look much, but I can assure you that is a...
19.
I mean, that is just the most pinpoint positional shot that you could ever see. This is where he's so brilliant. It's like watching a billiards player who
20.
has complete control at the top of the table with Ding, and when it's all working, it is always a joy to watch. It's a bit of a one-off as a player, really, his style. He's got this issue when he occasionally hits the ball at pace. He doesn't. His cue action doesn't always
27.
hold out so well. But most of the time, he doesn't need all that pace. He's right behind the next shot.
28.
Here again, the right side of the green to just stay down along for red's her left corner.
Just needs the red. And Jack Lisowski had the chance here. OK, Ding's had a bit of running, but, I mean, he was unlucky, I guess, with the black bouncing out. He'd offered up the chance. Lisowski potted a red, immediately missed the green. So 2-0 Ding. He's looking sharp. Lisowski needs to get involved soon.
I mean, he didn't get very close to the green, did he? Quite honestly.
39.
It was quite a weak effort, really, when the chance did arise.
40.
Tough score, though, isn't it? You get one chance and you've got to take it. You don't know when it's coming. Always, you've just got to be ready and waiting.
$46. 47. 52. 53.
Positional play is definitely one of his great strengths. He always seems to be in the right spot for the next pot, and that's hence he's made so many big breaks.
Maybe he was just testing out that pocket, Dave, on that black, because he hit it as hard as the one that
60.
that did fall out the pocket or the back of it.
Yeah, I mean, the black, as you said at the time, it didn't go in cleanly, but it wasn't significant either, because Jack Lisowski didn't take advantage, and Ding Junhui with a 60 to follow the 1-2-7 in frame one has made a very swift start here. He leads 2-0. Well, this is, I think, one of the most eagerly awaited first-round matches, Ding Junhui and Jack Lisowski, and Ding making the early running, leading 2-0. Lisowski so far has just potted one ball. But, of course, there's still 7 frames left to play. They'll conclude in the morning, and the winner plays Stuart Bingham, as we know, in round 2, where we go up to best of 25 3-session matches. The second round actually starts on Thursday, which is also when this first round concludes.
Thank you. The third frame.
Ronnie O'Sullivan and John Higgins both in
break.
action, of course, tomorrow. But right now, this is frame 3. Ding looking good already. Of course, Asia still looking for its first world champion, and it's going to be a Chinese player. Ding, I guess, is still the favourite. Junhui, I know a lot of people rate he's up against Mark Williams, of course, this afternoon. Oh, what a pot from the jackpot.
Yeah, what a shot that is. What a shot. Goodness. I mean, queuing down the ball, you can be made to look quite stupid on those shots. If you don't hit them well, you could miss it by about 1.5 foot. Balls can go everywhere, but it was beautiful the way he hit it. Yeah, well, he might be on that red on the right to pot it, and it'd be queuing over a lot of balls. But and the other thing, he's probably going to hit the red that sticks out on the right side. It's not as if he's just escaping straight back to the bulk area. Don't think he can avoid the other red.
Gone.
Played that well. The in-off must have been slightly in his mind in the yellow pocket. But he knew that it was avoidable. I mean, this is the makings of being a terrific game. And I know it's a little bit one-way traffic in the 2 frames we've seen, but if Jack starts playing as well, we're in for an absolute feast today, I think.
Yes, he's a very easy player for the crowd to support because he plays the eye-catching way, and he has a humility about him as well, which people take to.
Ten.
Yeah, well, he needs to maybe take a little moment here because he's not on the red. He played on the red by the black. You know, the plant. I don't think it's a certainty, this. He's got to hit the top of that, the left side of the bottom red. He's got to be very careful on this. Well played. Well played.
11.
Yeah, he's recovered the situation nicely. Yeah, his season just sort of unravelled a bit, really. He had a few runs, semi-finals in Belfast in the first half of the season, but second half been disappointing. Didn't even qualify for the World Open, and that left him unable to get in the Tour Championship and therefore unable to get in the top 16, 13. So that's why he had to go to the qualifying.
Second, please, Jack.
Yeah, I mean, the black is not on its spot, but Ben Williams checked to see that the pink will not go on between the black and the red,
20.
So that's the only place it will go, much to the relief of Jack Lisowski, because he doesn't want anything in the way of the red now. That is on the black spot or above it. It's early in the match, but this is quite an important chance to just get a frame on the board and get into what's happened. Been sort of blown away a little bit in the first two frames.
21.
Don't know how he was thinking he was going to get on the colour there. Don't know what he played because the red was always covering the pink to that bottom left pocket anyway, and the red was never going to move. Very good. Retrieved the situation nicely. He's still got to do it one more time with the red.
26.
Stay on the black. I guess it'd be the shot. Well, maybe not from there. I'll just go low on the cue ball and play up the table. Pity that he was going
Lisowski, 26.
reasonably well. He was never really in control, and I guess if you've not seen much of these two play, straight away you're seeing someone who pots balls all over the place. Lisowski, and he's a lovely player, but the precision play is from the man he's playing.
Foul. Jack Lisowski 4.
It feels like a let-off for Lisowski. He's got this red over the pocket now.
One.
And he's not finished in a very good spot there. Maybe a little unlucky. Over the top of this ball is the last thing he wanted. Very nice. Very well played. The frustration, had he missed that, would have been hard to cover up, I think. He's got to make it count now that he's in this position.
Yeah, just try and do what Ding does, which is just keep tight control of that white, and then you're not leaving yourself the recovery shots.
$16. $17.
He's not quite putting this frame away with his positional play right now. He's keeping effort to play good shots to recover the situation. Here's another one he's got to execute. Very well done, though.
Yeah, one thing you've got to say, you know, he'll never back away from a shot like that. I guess the frustration is that he keeps having to play them, but he'll always take them on. Problem is, I guess when he misses them, it kind of looks sloppy. But anyway, he's now
23.
Not far away from winning the frame and just establishing himself in this match after the great start from Ding. I think this will be a terrific match. I'm sure it will be. Two players you really want to watch, whoever they're playing, but when they're playing each other, it's absolute must-watch. And he just needs this red now to win his first frame. We've only been going just over half an hour.
$31. $38. $39.
He has played some good shots.
46.
In this break and in this frame in general, you know, recovering position, a couple of blues into bulk pockets, all the kind of things that Junhui doesn't do, but there's more than one way to win frames at this game. Everyone's got their own style.
52.
Lisowski has usually got pretty good cue ball control. It's been a little bit exposed
53.
by playing Ding at his best, as we've seen. But Jack is a lovely player to watch.
$57. $58. $62. $64.
Well, he needed this just to settle himself
67.
in. Ding had the chance. It wasn't an easy red. He took to the left corner, but it went over the corner pocket, regardless of going in off. He was always going to have left it on. Here we go.
71.
A little bit of the Judd Trump influence maybe here. Of course, they're great friends, practice partners ahead of the World Championship this year. They're in the same half, actually. Anyway, Jack Lisowski, with that 71, has reduced the arrears to 2-1. So it's 2-1 to Ding against Jack Lisowski, and there you see the Crucible appearances between them. It's only the 8th for Lisowski, 18th for Ding. He starts favourite for sure. He's the seed, he's world number 7, but it's one of those matches that you could see going either way. Lisowski's the sort of player, you know, you can see him reeling off frames quickly. Before you know it,
Good false frame.
he's out in front. But Ding also with his heavy scoring, can do the same. So that's why we've all been looking forward to this one. Average frame time so far, just 12 minutes.
I guess that red could have finished just about anywhere, but it went onto a cushion. Could have gone over the middle pocket on a different day once he didn't get anywhere near the pot in the first place. A little bit of good fortune this time for Jack. He's been on the wrong end of a couple of pretty significant flukes, it has to be said, in frames 1 and 2. I'll be playing the cross double here, red to left middle. No, going the safe route. How safe it is remains to be seen. No, he's also not taking the pot on here. He's playing thin off the red up the table. That was the plan.
Wow, the miss. Junhui fault.
Oh, is it going behind there? It's not a free ball anyway. It could be worse if it had been a free ball. Well, that's interesting because it's fairly close as to whether that red goes. I have to say, it looks quite, within a couple of millimetres either way. Jack seems to think that might go, by the looks of it. Dinger's let him play it again. What an extraordinary decision. What a strange thing that Ding did there. He had to use a trace of side. It wasn't a swerve or anything, just a little bit of helping side. Well, Ding has made a big error. He didn't think the red was on. Be relieved to know that Jack didn't get on a colour from it.
Lisowski won. The end, Ren? Yeah, thank you.
Well, he wanted to hit the red very thin. That's why he asked the referee, Ben Williams, to just look down the line in case there had to be a replacement, but he actually hit it about quarter ball in the end. That's why the cue ball has not really travelled to bulk very readily.
One.
So, after that fine start, it's now Ding sitting watching.
7.
That was a good shot because, as you could see, as the camera got in line with it, it only just went. Annoyingly, the wrong angle on the blue again, so he's playing the next red from mid-distance.
$13.
Yeah, just again, it's just slightly awkward, that green under his shoulder, but
14.
they're still going in.
Yes, he's having a little bit more difficulty though, isn't he, with this break building than Ding showed early, but it doesn't really matter. You know, if he gets to 2-2 at the mid-session, I'm sure he'll be thrilled with that. Been a very open first 4 frames. Still on the red. I don't think it's anything what he played.
21.
It's a little bit like, I guess, Brissell we saw on day one. You know, the white was roaming around the table, but he was still making breaks.
22.
Beautiful shot. That is a beautiful shot.
29.
Perfect red to hit, to land on the other one.
$30.
Well, this has been a quite remarkable break, actually.
37.
He only made 37, but he's featured a series of exhilarating positional shots, cannons, and the full repertoire was coming out.
Thank you. 38. $45. 46. $51. 52.
He's got to hold his concentration. There's a bit of a noise on the other table where they've come to the end of a frame. This frame is not over yet. There's another cannon. Yeah, it's another beautiful shot. They're all
59.
being put on the table today. And we've seen, why these two players are what they are.
60.
Being precise, Jack, sort of exhilarating style of break building. Which he's a ball away from taking us level. And I've enjoyed what I've
67.
seen.
Yes, it's lived up to its billing, this match. Ding made the early running.
68.
Lisowski's pegged him back. It's going to be level going to the interval, and they've only taken about 48 minutes to get there. Two players who have a lot of support.
75.
Ding has long been admired for the way he plays and for what he's done for snooker in China.
76.
And Jack Lisowski, so many well-wishers hoping he'll win a tournament and get on a run in in the biggest event that we have.
83.
He's such a talent. It's about marshalling it and obviously also dealing with all the intense pressure that is involved in this sport. And also dealing with all the other players. That's the other thing. The finals he's been in.
91.
He's played Selby, Robertson, Trump, all established winners. Missed that, but what a great start to day 4 of the World Championship. Thrilling stuff between these two. And at the interval, Ding Junhui and Jack Lisowski cannot be separated. They play 9 frames in this session, and they go to the dressing rooms all square at 2-2, and plenty more entertainment, I'm sure, to come in 15 minutes. Well, we're enjoying it. There's Jack just waiting to be for the nod to walk back out, and of course all set up nicely at 2-2. On the other table, it's 3-1 to Karen Wilson over Dominic Dale, but Dominic has just made a century in frame 4.
The 5th frame. Ding Junhui to break.
So it took 48.5 minutes for Ding Junhui and Jack Lisowski to play the first 4 frames. Here they are back again. We hope for more of the same. Ding started superbly, 127 and 60. Back came Lisowski with 71 and 91.
Terrific 4 frames, because the further into the match, if it gets tight, we can't guarantee it's going to be as fluent break building as we've seen, because it's a very big match for both players. But their style of play is always very easy on the eye, the pair of them. Even that was quite an attacking shot, because he's forcing the red into the bunch to try and get those open as well, providing the cue ball ends up in a safe area. This has to be a very thin contact made. Not quite thin enough. I think just graze the red and see that cue ball heading somewhere down in behind the green, I think was initially the plan. But he hit too much of it, basically. Left the kind of shot that Lisowski does knock in on a high ratio, basically. I mean, they're not easy and anyone can miss, but he does knock these in. The only snag with this one is he is a little concerned not only with the pot, but where this cue ball is going to go. Can he get on a colour from it? No, he's just desperately unlucky, isn't he, there? And he's played it with such confidence. I don't know quite how he played it or what he played, but it was still played with authority. The cue ball being buried in the bottom of the bunch is a little unfortunate. Hard to know what to do here because obviously you can only hit the underside of sort of the right-hand side as we look there of the pink. But with the red up the table, you can't just hit off that and leave that red to the opposite corner pocket. It might be worth trying to hit a different colour if he could and not even going for the pink. I don't see that that's a particularly nice option that's been put up because you know, he's leaving red to middle, probably. If there's any way he could hit a different colour or attempt to hit one. I think he's going to play the pink.
Jack Lisowski, what?
Not sure if he's left the red to middle in the end. Not a nice shot to be faced with. Either way. Yeah, I think something... That red goes to middle. Well, Jack's kind of dodged a bullet there.
One.
Now, he has been known to knock these long blues in, but I don't think he'll play it this time because there's no backup red. So I think it's just a red and somewhat unluckily no colour.
Yellow ball. Jack Lisowski, one.
Well, it just feels like at the moment it's Lisowski kind of in charge. Of course, it was Ding. He went in off in frame 3, left a chance, and Lisowski made 71. And since then, the match has sort of turned towards the Englishman. Start the interval on the other side, but it's there's still a hush descended on the Crucible. Of course, Ding is on home soil. He bases himself in Sheffield. He's got an academy in the city centre. He negotiated the path nicely here, didn't he? That was trouble.
Wasn't it a good shot? Yes. I thought the same. It was a difficult safety shot that he's played, and he's actually put Jack in a spot of bother. This thin red I mean, you can always do what he's done there, miss them
Foul.
altogether.
Miss. Junhui 4.
Surely it just goes back, doesn't it? Can't see any point in anything else. Just put it back. If Jack misses a second time, he's in problems. If he is too much of it, he leaves the red to the other pocket. Why would he play this? It's just got to go back. Very unusual for Ding to spend this long deliberating over something that seems quite obvious, really.
Back.
Maybe it was just a little bit of a move. You know, you're allowed to take your time and come up with an obvious decision if you want to. I mean, it has to go back because he's in a little bit of trouble here. And his thin contact on this right-hand red's got to be played well because he leaves plenty, so it's not a nice shot. He didn't want it to go back.
Can you please be as quiet as possible, please? Thank you.
Well, Ding made a misjudgment earlier. He let Jack in for a ball in this pocket. He didn't think went, and that absolutely flies. That will definitely pot. And he's not even close. So he's going to have to pot it because the blue is not in any way, shape or form in the way.
One.
Played it well. There's a typical Ding Junhui shot there he's played.
6.
He's trying to locate that red just through the gap, the one just above the black, and he's bang behind it. I don't know if the black will go to the opposite corner, but the fact that he's looking at something else, perhaps it doesn't.
Seven.
Somebody really thought that was a
12.
wonderful shot. It wasn't bad. But it wasn't positionally as good as often that was you'd see with Ding Junhui. Now he's got a recovery shot to play. Has he gone far enough? I'm not sure he believes he has, because he wanted to push through the yellow a little bit.
18.
I mean, even if he has gone far enough, the yellow comes into play for awkward queuing, so he's left himself a horrid shot here. Again, I think he can get through to it, but it just isn't nice. Oh, look at that. He's trying to fit the cue through the gap between the yellow and the blue. The red only just goes. That's a beautiful shot. I mean, there were so many things that could have gone wrong there. Not least he could have hit the yellow with his cue even on the way through. And he stayed down on the shot for so long, I felt that something was to his disliking.
Well, has anyone ever worked harder for 19 points than Ding here? Just trying to play himself back into nice position. Still not quite there, though.
I think he must have played the cannon on the right-hand red of the two that are just above the black to bring the other one into play. Something he's usually very proficient at. Now this is another recovery. Red to middle, cue ball round the back of the black to the left corner. Oh yeah, he's got all the shots, hasn't he? Meticulous attention to detail on these positional shots, second to none.
Well, he's been walking on a high wire, but now he's on safer ground, you suspect. 36
34.
in front. Good chance now to go back in front. See the faces in the background, loving this match.
35.
Now here, another chance to show his positional expertise. He might just try and hit the left-hand red of the two that are up just below the pink spot. There's the shot. Beautiful. Just delightful touches.
42.
Yeah, I think you can just learn a lot watching Ding playing. And I know that you speak to any player, they always say they enjoy watching him because he goes about things the correct way. Yeah, it's a great match. It's a star, a global star of the sport against a player with real star quality.
50.
Jack Lisowski had a good two-frame spell, but looks like he's about to go 3-2 down.
51.
Remember, the match concludes this time tomorrow morning.
He wasn't delighted with that shot, but he only wants the red. I think that should be his main consideration. There's another
59.
recovery, though. I mean, it's actually, and it's a very small sample size, these few frames. It's almost taking me back about 15 years watching Ding when he first came on the scene and what he was doing. Now he looks as dangerous as he did back then, and
66.
it's really almost a one-off, I think, in the game now, the way that Ding controls the balls. Okay, I know we know O'Sullivan can do it,
67.
but not quite in the same way. It's all about getting the angle on the next ball and controlling the cue ball perfectly.
$74. 75.
Well, he had to dig himself out of a couple of holes at the start of this break, but he's kept going.
$82.
Right behind the red here. Look at that. Brilliant.
83.
Well, if he's on this black, and if he either will play the cannon on the red, which is a tough shot. Unlucky. He didn't pot it cleanly, that black. Right down the cushion will be
90.
testing for Ding. Didn't quite hit it into the middle of the pocket, or else that red, I think, would have been shifted.
Well, the red's still in. Another great pot. He's determined to make this century. What a dazzling break it's been in the end.
$98.
There still needs potting. It's been one of the more unconventional centuries if he does pot the yellow. Oh, he stays out. What a shame.
98 in the front.
But a terrific 98 from Ding Junhui, back in front then against Jack Lisowski at 3-2. So it's 3-2 to Ding Junhui. They're back on table one as well. Karen Wilson 3-1 up on Dominic Dale. It was 3-0. Dominic made 120 break in frame 4. That's live on Discovery Plus. Ding just failed to make the century, just missed that yellow, but 98, a terrific break because he really had to work hard to keep it going. And he is a frame in front. Four more frames then in this session, with Stuart Bingham waiting in round 2. Ding, of course, the seed, but it's one of those, you know, it could have been the other way around on another day. Of course, Ding very much back in the top 8 now, not just the UK Championship, but the World Open as well. Big points for getting to the final there. Lisowski just slipped out the 16, and that's why he had to go to the qualifying, where he made 6 centuries across 2 matches. In fact, he only lost 7 frames, so he played good stuff. He was actually the first player to qualify this year.
Settle down, please.
Because you mentioned it could be the other way around. In 2022, it was the other way around, wasn't it? With Ding having to qualify, and only last year he scraped into the 16 as 16th seed. So it's a real resurgence in form and fortunes for Ding Junhui.
Yeah, there's certain events you just don't see Ding. The home nations just seem, you don't see him basically in those. He plays in them, but he doesn't seem to do anything in them.
Yeah, I mean, he sometimes appears not to be entirely sort of focused or motivated for those. I mean, he plays in them and tries, clearly. But like you say, it's, the UK is what he almost gets his season all geared up for, getting up to York, doesn't he? And doing well there. And that's where he sort of builds his season upon. He's played in everything.
Well, I don't think his sort of love of the home nations was helped by the fact he was Dr. Frame at the English Open this season because he was wearing the wrong colour trousers. It's not exactly going to get your juices flowing for a tournament. He did win the match eventually.
Yeah, I mean, that was a complete nonsense decision, wasn't it? It's one thing not turning up, but he did turn up. Anyway, he did seem to take it in good enough spirit. I don't think I'd have been the same if it had happened to me.
Trousers were too smart.
You sure? It wasn't a minute ago. It is now, but it wasn't before.
Yeah, he was saying it wasn't touching, but now it is. So he's going to move it to where he felt it was originally.
Sorry? Yeah.
might prove costly. There was some suspicion it was on its way in again. Something like that happened in the very first frame. Yeah, is he gonna play the other red onto this one near the pocket? I mean, if he does that, he's got almost guaranteed to be in control of the cue ball, but the trouble is the black doesn't go to the right corner. I mean, if he did, I think he would surely play it. I think he still is. Yeah, only just got enough of the red for it to fall into the pocket. That's it, all that really matters. See it again. He's got to shift the two reds that are blocking the black to each corner pocket. That's his next objective in this break, if there is to be a break. And he potted that cleanly. I think the cue would have gone further down the table, but it was in the thick side of the pocket, if you know what I mean, and that's why the cue ball has gone there. No man's land, really. Oh, you're looking at a 4-ball plant here. Goodness me, it's like they line up like a snake, aren't they, those 4 reds? Come on, surely this is not on, is it? Oh. What an incredible shot that was. I mean, it's like a trick shot, wasn't it? 4 reds, all equal distance apart.
Yeah, I mean, the overhead showed you, they weren't touching each other. They weren't dead set by any means. So it's one of those, if he hadn't got it, be all sorts of questions asked, but he did get it. And that's how he plays. And he's opened things up considerably.
Well, he's landed on a key red here, actually, because it will free up the black to that pocket. If ever he gets behind the black, that is. Yeah, it wasn't a simple shot, though. It looked like a bad miss, but I think the camera angle sometimes foreshortens shots like this. It's not easy. Overcut it.
Well,
and another day that works out nicely, but not today.
Yeah, I mean, the problem is he's got a clear shot at the black, hasn't he? So if he plays something else, he's going to have to hit it at some point within 3 goes. He may have a little go at it once, perhaps. If he feels he can get away from the reds on the black, that's all well and good. Fairly negative shot, but I mean, it's just saves the day for the moment anyway.
I think they're understandably wary of each other. You know, they both know how good the other is. They've seen it already today. Each frame's been won with a sizable break so far.
Yeah, I mean, they're both very dangerous players, aren't they? Scorers, big scorers in their own different ways. That's a good safety shot. Put Jack in the spot of bother now. Again, there isn't really a very easy shot playing thin off these reds. Trouble is, your cue ball's heading quite close to the left corner pocket on this. It's kind of limped up the table. It probably could be a lot worse. That was not nice. It's a beauty, that one. I mean, the pace he played it and the contact means it was almost exactly how he meant it. Ding has got the thin contact on the right side, but as we know, these can be missed altogether. Oh, delightful. This could be the best of the lot if it's behind the green. No, not quite, but still very well played.
So, an error from Ding, catching the second red.
Yeah, a big mistake, wasn't it? I mean, it wasn't as difficult a safety shot as some of the others he's negotiated.
1.
Well, it's a good chance, this, if he can just keep a bit of control. Having been really shut out of the first 2 frames, he only potted 1 ball in the match lead. And Ding had a little bit of running that helped him. But it's a long match, of course, and he's played well since
6.
then.
Yes, I noticed he went straight down to the business end of the table, the black. Back on its spot after this. There's 2 reds surrounding it. The one below and to the right he'd like to be on. That will clear the black to both pockets. And like I say, he'll do it in a slightly different way to the way Ding Junhui break bills, but it's still very good, very entertaining. Sometimes not quite the same level of cue ball control and accuracy.
15.
Not that that matters.
What that graphic tells you is that all the frames have been one-sided in terms of how they've been resolved. Thus far, no close frames.
Pretty good
20.
shot, because that red down from the blue in the centre of the table on the left as you look now was in the way on that shot. And that was making it more difficult.
21.
That wasn't such a good positional shot. For once, he's got to play some kind of retrieval here. I think that's a really good shot he's played.
28.
Yeah, good recovery. So 39 in front. Ooh, but the red
Jack Lisowski,
didn't drop.
28.
You can see it, couldn't you? He's always going towards the near jaw. They don't go in there. Well, after all the good shots, that was a sloppy one, really. I mean, he just was probably ahead of himself, all I can think of. Thinking about further down the line. Significant, though, because you feel that had Ding Junhui been in that, with that opening that Jack was faced with, he'd still be in amongst them now. Almost a chance for him to prove that point here. So a key frame potentially in the session.
Nine.
Here's another example. Look at that shot. And there he's
16.
gone up to the point where he can now just nudge into the 2 reds hole for the pink. See, that was really
17.
good. It didn't look much, but trust me, that shot has opened up the reds quite delightfully. Yes, he's got the problem of the red on the right and the red down table. But by that point, he'll probably be in front.
23. $24. 30.
Somewhere over there on the right, I suppose, where that
31.
circle is where it needs to be. You know, it might be now is the time. If he's got the perfect shot on the black to screw him behind that red, he may as well do it, I suppose. He's going to need it. Yeah. That's beautiful, isn't it? Look at that. He couldn't put it better with your hand than where he's finished.
38.
Well, it was all going swimmingly, and then you missed that.
Junhui,
Amazing.
38.
Amazing. Never in any more than Jack's that he missed earlier in the frame. And he seems quite perplexed by it because it was all going so well.
1.
Well, we hadn't had a close frame, as Dave said, but we're going to get one here.
Jack Lisowski, 1.
Yeah, it's been a quick match, but this frame a little lengthier. 22 minutes. Obviously, when you get big breaks, they're over pretty quickly. But this has been much closer affair. They've each had chances. 2 points in it. Sting attempts to get his 2-frame lead restored.
Well, it looks pretty safe. Yes, he's not got much distance between the balls, but can't quite get through to that one. And the left side of this red, or certainly not anything to pot it in to the top left pocket. Yeah, I mean, with all the break building and fluency we've seen, in a way, these frames mean more, these tight frames, of which in this match we mightn't see very many. Well, that's good play, is it? Or has he left the red? He tried to sneak in behind the black. I don't know if he's covered it. No. No. Not necessarily a frame-winning chance, but some sort of a glimmer for Ding Junhui. Usually very reliable in the middle pockets.
Yeah, tense old frame this.
Well,
he struck that well, didn't he? But he's still got to get on the last red. Bit of laughter from the other side, I think. Dominic Dale's in the thick of it over there, isn't he? Enjoying himself. Just flick the yellow. Still has a shot at this red if he wants to take it on.
6.
I think he has to take it on, doesn't he? The value is there. Ah, what a shot that is. How beautifully struck.
Yeah, they're the sort of shots. I mean, this is missable, but they're the sort of shots that can make a big difference, as long now as he nails the frame off the back of it. 9 points in front, 13 with the brown, so he would need after that yellow, green and brown.
Thank you. 13.
Yeah, crucially, as Dave pointed out, the brown also needed, not just the green. So he's going to have to play this with a degree of pace, and that brings about the chance it can be missed.
$16.
So look, he's played it really well, but now he's finished. I mean, literally straight down the middle of the table, the cue ball, to the point where you wouldn't even know which corner pocket to try and cut the brown ball in, I don't think. Same in both. I mean, there is an argument here to try and get the cue ball in behind the black, but the temptation is to just see if you can pot frame ball somewhere. I suppose he thought maybe that if he left it over the pocket, the black would cover it, but he didn't quite get close enough. It was a really thin cut, as you saw, because he still didn't hit it thin enough. As is this a thin cut? Frame still very much alive after that, because he didn't get close enough for it to stay near the pocket.
Well, that could be a game changer. Of course, Lisowski just needing the brown, but if Ding doesn't hit it, he can himself only tie.
Well, he absolutely does not want that one back because he's hit it and he's left it safe. And really, Lisowski's shot was excellent, which put him in that predicament.
But he's doubled it, saw the chance, and barring Snookers is Lisowski's frame.
Interesting shot selection, wasn't it? You very rarely see a double into a corner pocket when the frame is still live, and
Jack Lisowski.
it is one snooker. It's not quite done. The pink and black, you know, it's not impossible to lay a snooker behind one of those.
So by far the closest frame, the longest frame. Just over half an hour. Ding needs one. Successfully laid snooker.
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't got it, but as I say, it's just this kind of table. We're so used to saying, well, you know, the balls are no good for getting snookers, or they're actually in quite good positions, the pink and black. Lisowski needs to be very careful not to make any unfortunate mistakes. Saw that happen in the qualifiers 2 or 3 times with players who fouled when they're not even snookered. Oh, Dinger's fouled when he's not even snookered. He's had enough.
Yeah, just nodded his head in concession. So, very different frame to the first 5. Lisowski delighted to win it to level at 3-3. Well, the doubled brown in the end won Jack Lisowski that 6th frame. So 3-3. And there are 3 more frames to enjoy between these two. And, of course, Karen Wilson, Dominic Dahl on table 1 is on Discovery Plus. That's 5-1 to Karen Wilson.
Well, that last frame, over half an hour, which I think with these two are going to be very rare frames. They've both popped out, but a frame lasting that long in a match between 2 attacking players tells you that sometimes it's the balls that dictate how long a frame lasts or what happens in the course of it. But the double, I mean, really, it's unconventional to see a double into a corner pocket necessarily, which is in live play, you know. More often than not, it's into the middle bags, but it was really worth the risk.
Thank you. The 7th frame. Ding Junhui to break. You have your sweet wrappers away now, please.
Put your sweet wrappers away, only at the Crucible, eh? So 3-3. Yeah, it's a pretty sweet double from Lisowski to win that close 6th frame. And all the signs are it's going to be close coming back tomorrow morning to conclude. As he lines this one up. Well, it was full-blooded, isn't it? And it could have been a worse result for him.
So a little bit of the fluency of the early frames is gone now. It's a highly important 3 more frames in this session to determine what happens tomorrow morning when they return.
He's trying to make a 3-ball plant there. Does like to try and make things happen, doesn't he? Problem is, if they don't happen, what do you leave? I felt the 2 was set, but he had to make it off the first red.
One.
So Ding has been handed and in. Let's see what he can do with it. The match has just shifted from its earlier fluency, but it can shift back again. Pot success for Ding is at 90% and Lisowski 87. So it's just come down a little bit, but it's just reflective of that last frame, really.
As ever, Ding is looking at getting the black back on its own spot. That's his best way of scoring. I mean, some players might just think, well, I won't worry about the black, I'll just score on what's out there. Ding wants it on the table, on the spot. Well, he's managed it, but cue ball.
14.
If the red goes up into the green pocket, I don't think it does with the other red there. So he's finished in the maybe half a pocket, which might not interest him. But he went to a lot of effort to get that black in play and compromise position a little bit in doing so. I do think this goes, although if you're not playing into a full pocket, you're at the mercy of it staying out. I think he will play it, looks of things. Got to avoid the other red on the way through. Oh, great shot. In the end, it drifted across and went in the centre, but as you saw, it was not quite on in its entirety, but look how easily it dropped. They're going to go into them here. Goodness me. How about that? If he's not on something nicely, he should be.
20.
Big shot. Open table if he misses. Yeah, nicely done. So he's away now, you feel, with a good chance for 4-3. And to get back into the way he began the match, which was making big breaks. Came out in frame 1 with a 1-2-7. He nearly had another century, of course, in frame 5. Just missed the final yellow on 98.
$23.
And red to right middle, but of course it would be a lot better for him if the black went to left corner. It doesn't. He's playing around the back of it. It's another delightful shot, isn't it?
24.
He's so good at those shots. Such knowledge of where the cue ball is actually going to land.
31. $32.
Cue ball really strays
39.
very far with Ding Junhui, does it? Even that last shot. And then the red, and then
40.
on the black low. Playing up into an area for the next red. Running a very tight ship when it comes to positional play. Same again there. Always very nice to watch him.
47.
Never get bored of seeing someone with such control. The game's not always played in that way. There's a lot of squashbuckling players in the game. And the world champion, who's of course now not going to be champion this year, Luca Bracel, is an
48.
example of the complete opposite of Ding Junhui. Great potter, pot his way out of anything. Ding likes to just keep things as tight and controlled as he can.
Yeah, very often in the sort of shot of the championship or hot shots or any of those packages, you see recovery pots that look amazing, but
55.
you only have to recover if you're out of position. Whereas Ding just keeps tight control of the white.
$56.
So black and one more red, and he'll be back in front at 4-3. Well, in fact, it's red in the colour because there's another red down the table. But either way, it's 2 pots.
63. $64.
Another very nicely played shot. The colour that Dave mentioned is pretty much a formality here. So a very interesting stat flash up at the bottom of the screen a few minutes ago, which
70.
surprised me because it was tournament long pot success, and apparently Ding is almost 10% clear of all the
71.
other players. Okay, he's only played 6, nearly 7 frames. It's not really something you associate with him. Don't think he'll be able to keep that up. But his control and his break building should be at the top, I think, from what I've seen.
77. $78.
Well, his cue balls have had balls without, and of course he's furious because he sees it as a failure. The frame's
55.
long since won. Now he has got to play a long pot to keep the break alive. Oh, well, it went.
86.
When he has to find one, he can.
Well, he denied that century in frame 5 and he missed the yellow, but determined to make one here. More his sort of frame than the last one, I guess. Well, he's not going to make one because he's missed that, but 90. Superb effort from Ding, who, once again, is in front. 2 frames left to play, and he leads 4-3.
Thank you, the 8th frame.
4-3 to Ding Junhui.
Lisowski.
Lisowski can't quite get in front in the match. Could still be, though, of course, overnight if he wins the last two. Ding could have had 3 centuries. He had one in the first frame, and then 98 and 90. Good scoring from China's number 1.
Safe to say he's played very well today, I think. And he's only leading by a frame because Lisowski's not been bad either. But, what to say, he's played probably more this season and more consistently this season than he has for a while. He is showing that he's completely knuckling down to playing.
3.
There was a period of time when we doubted his motivation. Was it still there? He's not like he's an old man. 37 years of age, a long
4.
time ahead of him in the game. But I think he looks really confident today. Very solid.
Give me a second there.
Yeah, we can see that red. I don't think the black's in the way, isn't it? Ding won't be thinking that the red goes to the right corner. Might be in a position to just nudge
11.
it into a better spot. That looks perfect. Beautiful. Just the tiniest nudge. He wanted to be straighter on it, actually. Just brought it into
18.
play. Might have to go into the black, which he didn't really want to do.
$19.
These could certainly be missed. Get some applause, but I think the next shot is the real big one.
26.
Going into the bunch of reds. Hopefully, for his point of view, the cue ball goes through them with topspin. Out of there.
Ding Junhui, 26.
Maybe divided concentration between pot and position.
Oh, what a beautiful shot that is. Just pure cueing. Now he's got in with a really great pot. It's about a bit of control here.
Yes, it was a crucial half-an-hour frame that he picked up, the one before last. But he has been calmed down a bit. He's been kept out from his fluent sort of best, really, for about 45 minutes play or so. So if he can make this shot count, this next blue into the bunch, if he plays it, which surely he has to do, becomes one of the biggest shots of the session.
What I love about him is, you know, he's always just trying to win frames.
9.
Obviously, it was a good target, that, but there's no backing away from shots like that.
No, and when you see that cue ball stay in the middle of the table on those shots, you know it's been played well.
10.
This cue ball just getting there, is it? That was too close for comfort, for position.
Yeah, I mean, Ding has shown his mastery of positional play today. Lisowski's been having to sort of recover here and there.
Looks like he has attempted to hold the spot, so the highest available for the blue is the pink spot. Interesting shot.
15.
And he wants to play this shot right-handed. Stunning in for the black. Clever.
16.
Like his style there. Great belief in his ability to play with his opposite hand. Yeah, I don't think he played it like that, quite honestly, but
21.
clearly he's finished
Sorry, 23.
very awkwardly. He's now right-handed over the ball. Goodness, is he going to get the pot and position? That's all right, isn't it?
24.
Well done. Very well done. Pressure's getting to everyone. The referee's calling out the wrong score. Slight positional breakdown there.
$31. 32.
Well, if you can put the frame away, then obviously it's going to be 5-4 either way. 5-3 down, you're under pressure in the last frame of the day to stay in touch. I don't think anyone would mind if this went the distance tomorrow when they come back. Well, the players might. I'm talking about the audience.
Well, this break has been getting more difficult all the time. It's only a 14-point lead. It feels like he's been potting balls for an awfully long time in this break. The blue is not available. So now he's got to retrieve the break again. Black's very thin. It's a horrid shot. What might tempt him to the black is if he plays it over the pocket and it doesn't go in, he might block the pocket. But it has gone in. Very well done.
$47. $48.
Oh, what a delightful break this has been. Goodness me. And he
55.
won't need that red on the cushion. Very telling break
56.
indeed.
Yeah, this is how he plays. It's exciting. And he's full of talent, full of promise. And when he keeps it going like this, as good as anyone, really. Obviously,
61.
he would like to not have to pull off the recovery shots, but he's kept going.
62.
And it's going to be 4-4. And whoever wins the last frame, it's going to be set up nicely coming back tomorrow.
$69.
Snooker's needed, otherwise it will be level.
Jack Lisowski, 69.
That was a brilliant break. And it's probably going to take him to the frame. There was a lot going on in that break. Quite so many that Ding Junhui completely lost any hope of winning it. But he does want snookers. 2 to tie. Tell you what, there was almost a little concern there. You've always got to watch out for these things. He nearly sort of knocked the black towards the right middle. And that would have been a free ball and a sort of calamitous turn of events, but it didn't happen, thankfully.
Well, of course, it's Ding who needs the snookers, but he's in another one here. The in-off is surely end of frame. He indeed has conceded, so with one more to play in what's been an entertaining session, Lisowski once again has levelled up with that 69 break. It's 4-4. Ding Junhui just waiting for Jack Lisowski to return for the last frame of the session, but whatever happens, it's going to be 5-4 to one of them and nicely set up for the final session.
It's been one of the best first sessions here I've seen for a long time. Very enjoyable, slightly contrasting ways of scoring, but they're both scoring well. Whoever wins and leads 5-4
this session.
can look forward to what's to come.
Ding Junhui to break.
Ding wasn't sure it was his break-off. Of course, he'd never been behind. He'd like to keep that going here, win the last of the day.
He knocked a lot of those in, Lisowski. I think he slightly overhit that one for the shot it was. Which brings into closer scrutiny, your accuracy on the shot when you hit them harder. I mean, it won't really make a huge difference who wins his frame because they're both very much in it. But the fact that Ding has not been behind, if he was losing overnight, then that would be a slightly unfortunate, really, given how well he's played. So he would like to win this frame a lot. Hold the edge.
Ding Junhui 1.
Well, he blocked the pocket, and I think he knew that would happen, but there was a red up the table. He's on the walk there, wasn't he? I think he believed it was going to drop. The problem is he's left this long red with the black over the pocket. It looks a fairly difficult table, but Ding has got a chance here. If he knocks this red in, anything could be possible from there on in. He's only got to stun the cue ball there. He just lost a little bit of his cue action now. He missed that ball. And then he missed the kind of red I think he would have knocked in early on in the match. So Jack's got the same option here. Black, if he can hit the target and hit the point of the bunch of reds on that left side, then these reds could go all over the table. Big shot. He's lucky to be on anything there. I mean, he kind of used topspin, it just arced round. It was something he should have been able to avoid, really, by using maybe hitting a bit lower on the cue ball. It would have gone straighter in towards the reds.
9.
Second bite at the cherry, perhaps. Brown off the cushion into the bunch again. Is he on one?
13.
Played it well, didn't he? Everything's moving. Yeah, I think he's on this one. You can hold for the pink to the opposite corner.
$14.
So playing up the table here. So again, one more positional shot needed from green to red. It's not an easy table anyway. Obviously, with the black tied up, the blue away from its spot, you're going to concentrate perhaps on the getting the pink
70.
in play at some point. Can't really do it here. Maybe a little bit of movement, looked up into the crowd.
18.
Well, we were at
22.
one of the tournaments this season, the World Grand Prix it was, in Leicester, and he was talking quite darkly about things and saying he wasn't enjoying it, needed a break.
23.
He actually had a break because he didn't qualify for the World Open, and he seems to come back really refreshed and raring to go for this World Championship. One last event of the season, one last push to make an impact this season. No better tournament to do it in than this 17-day marathon. I thought he was very businesslike in the qualifying. He ran through 2 opponents, including Matthew Stevens, 10-3. That was a big win.
29.
First player into the hat from qualifying. Again, the white is just sort of roaming a little bit here.
Good shot though, isn't it? Because you've got to be very accurate. It's quite a narrow pocket opening
32.
on that yellow from where he was playing it from. But you wouldn't be certain that he'll get over the line in this break because he's increasingly finding more difficulties.
$33. $39. 40.
Well, they're the breaks, break categories anyway in this match. Lisowski looking to end on a high. His highest is 91 in the 4th frame.
46. $47.
It was also significant, though, that he won that close 6th frame, you know, because Ding, if he'd have made it 4-2, who knows, he could have gone into the distance. Lisowski's, I think they both played well,
53.
actually. Lisowski, though, has shown a bit of steel as well today.
Yeah, and some of these balls are absolutely crashing into the back of the pocket, aren't they? He's hitting them with great authority.
54.
So he's almost there. We need another red. Thoroughly enjoyable session of snooker, this. I've said it a couple of times, but I genuinely think this has been
61.
a match that's lived up to the billing, and tomorrow, goodness, still, you wouldn't want to say which way it'll go. Ding looks in great form. Break building absolutely immaculate. Jack has got all the flair and his own brand of break building, which is a little bit more spectacular.
67.
And I think he looks sharper than I've seen him for a while as well. The qualifiers, perhaps.
Yeah, we've had,
Lisowski,
of course, 5 seeds eliminated already. And Ding Junhui, another one He's trailing after a very entertaining session of snooker between these two, and it ends on a high for Jack Lisowski. A break of 67 in the final frame of the morning, so he holds the advantage for when the players return on Wednesday, leading Junhui by 5 frames to 4.